we spend a lot of time at Neat thinking about the user experience, whether it's the person who's sitting in front of the Neat device in the room, or the person who's sitting at the far end, to make sure that they are also getting a great experience from that Neat device. And in a conference room like this with 4 walls and a table and chairs, we've got that nailed. But we also do some really, really cool things in spaces which are more non-traditional conference spaces, open plan offices, things like that. So why don't we take a look at a space like that? All right, so we've decided to change the venues for our meeting that we're having today. And we're sitting outside in this nice, comfortable work lounge. So you're probably aware that the way work has changed over the last few years. A lot of organizations are focused on making their team members a lot more comfortable when they're only in the office temporarily. Maybe at the office you don't have your own workspace anymore. You don't have a desk, you don't have a cube. And so in order to, again, make folks feel more relaxed when they're collaborating, a lot of places have started to set up kind of these comfortable work lounges, couch, easy chairs, things like that. Just because this is a non-traditional workspace, at Neat, we don't feel as though you should compromise for the technology that's available to you when you want to collaborate. Because another thing that organizations are dealing with is the fact that some team members are always going to be remote, whether they're at home or travel or wherever they might be. So for my team, I want us to be able to sit in a comfortable setting like this, relaxed, casual. We're gonna have a brainstorming session, but we still need to talk to Gerard and bring him in. What we have at Neat are flexible solutions. That's a very, very big watchword for us at Neat, is devices and solutions that we can use in a lot of different kinds of spaces, even if it's just temporarily. So spaces that aren't where you're not going to have a permanently mounted device. So now I want to talk to you a little bit about one of those devices, which is Neat Board 50. So Brianna's going to bring one in. Imagine that we're going out to this workspace. We can just grab one of these, maybe that's sitting nearby, pull it over, and we're ready to go and start having a video conferencing meeting just like we were in that meeting space. Now, Neat Board 50, we'll tell you a little bit more about the details, but I want to talk to you first about how we create some of these experiences and why they're relevant to spaces like this, not just the standard 4-wall conference room. What I'm going to show you right now is how we actually can adjust and train Neat Symmetry, that AI-driven people finding that we do on our devices. Let's make that work for a space like this. Okay, so I'm going to pull up the calibration screen for that. I'm just going to go into the settings here. I'm going to put in my super secret password to make sure that nobody else can, so no one else can get it. Security always very important. I'm going to go to my audio video settings and click on framing boundary. So what you're going to see here is you're actually going to see a live image of what the camera is looking at, and including our friends on the camera crew here who are in the background. We don't want them in our meeting, right? So imagine those are your coworkers and they're sitting off to the side, having their own meeting, talking on the phone, those kinds of things. We don't want them to appear on our camera here for Gerard to see because they're not in the meeting. So he doesn't want people getting framed up who he's not talking to and isn't talking to him. So as you can see, all of us have green squares around us. So every person in the frame has a green square, and so the Neat Board 50 is telling me these are all the things I see as a person, and if I go into a call, I'm going to try and frame up each of those people and send it to the far end. But we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set the depth and the width of how this device is looking at the space in order for it to ignore people who aren't in the work area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the depth here and I'm going to slide that down like so until I see our intrepid camera crew, their squares go red like that. So now what Neat Board 50 is telling me is that I can see those guys back there, they're really good looking, but I know they're not supposed to be in the meeting, so I'm not gonna frame them when we're in a call. Now on the width side, that's a different parameter going this way. If I start turning that down, what you're gonna see is you're gonna start seeing like Jocelyn, for instance, on the side and me at some point. She's gonna turn red as well. So you can adjust it this way as well. But for this space, I don't really need to do that. So I'm just gonna put that back to there to make sure everyone's in. It's really these guys back here I wanna be ignoring during the call. All right, so now we have our Neatboard 50 here. We've got it calibrated for the space, so it's only gonna focus on the people who we want it to focus on. So let's get our meeting started and invite Gerard back in. So I'm gonna hit new meeting just before, same exact interface as the NeatPad in the conference room. And as you can see, it's only focusing on the people that we told it to in the work area. Our handsome camera crew is in the back working hard, but it's ignoring them because they're not gonna be in our meeting with Gerard. So now what I'll do is I'll go here and I'm gonna click on Manage Participants and hit Invite. And again, just like before, same exact interface. I'm going in, searching for Gerard. There he is. And I'm gonna invite him into the call. So now it'll ring to him just like it did before, and he's gonna join us. No change in any of that behavior. So now I've got Gerard here. How you doing, man?
Doing well, how are you, Justin?
Good, good, good. So I know that earlier we were talking about that you wanted to do a little brainstorming. We moved out here, you know, a little more relaxed, a little more chill, have some brainstorming sessions. So why don't you pull up a whiteboard real quick and we can start talking about some of those ideas. So now Gerard is using his just regular laptop at home, right? And what he's gonna do is he's gonna start a whiteboarding session. This is in Zoom, same thing in Microsoft Teams, same basic functionality. He can start a whiteboarding session. And now I can use my active marker here. You can also use a passive marker. You can use your finger or whatever you want to use. These guys tend to be a little bit more accurate. And now we can start working together. So Gerard can draw, he can annotate, he can put various things on there. So he's got some Post-it notes up there. And now I can go and collaborate with him and say, yeah, you know, Gerard, I think this is a really good idea. Let's keep that one. That's a big check mark. You know, he's got his cloud here. We can save this, we can work with it, we can go back and forth. And the nice thing is that everyone else who's in the room, they can either open up the whiteboard session on their laptop and work on it right there in front of them, or they can come up as well and use the board. So Brianna, why don't you come up? Now, here's a really cool thing about this device. Brianna, if you might notice, I don't want to call too much attention to it, but she's a little bit shorter than me. So maybe it would be more comfortable for her if we brought the board down where it'll be a little bit easier for her to use it. Now, this is a big part of the flexibility of this device. Not just that you can roll it wherever you want it, but also it has this wonderful adaptive stand that with just one hand, you can go and you can move it up and down regardless of where you might need it, lower for people who are a little bit smaller, or even if you have team members with disabilities, it's a lot more accessible for them to be able to use it to bring it down to a level that's most comfortable, right? Or if we're just using it as a video unit, maybe we want to lower it to give us a better, more flattering camera angle on the group. But then if someone wants to use it to write, you just come and you slide it up like this. So again, flexibility, big watchword here at Neat in terms of not just where you can place these devices, but how you interface with it. And again, ease of use is always paramount for us as well, right? This is one device, camera, microphones, compute to run the software, 50-inch touch-enabled display, all in one. So all you have to do is take it out of the box, plug it in, apply a conferencing license to it based on whatever cloud service you're using, and now you're up and running in just a matter of minutes. Neatboard 50 is a newer product for us for 2024. Tons of excitement about it, and the flexibility on it is, I think, really going to be something that is going to be widely adopted because it enables collaboration in a lot of different spaces that maybe we haven't even thought of yet. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what ideas you have for this device.